everybody. It's so great to see you. Happy Friday. As you can see, in a slightly different setting today. I've already had my coffee, but I brought my friend along with me, where we had brunch together. And I thought I'd bring her on because she's super insightful. Thank you. She's going to bring all of the amazing insights. As we answer this question, we kind of have been talking a lot about this today, coincidentally, which I received as a question was, why is it so hard to rest? And, Christine, this is Kristina, by the way. Hi. I should introduce her. And we've known each other for quite a few years now, and we were on the same program together, and just really, really clicked in the way that we are learning similar things and we think in a similar way, but also differently, so that we can actually challenge each other. And so, I want to bring her on to talk about this thing, which is, why is it so hard to rest? And one of the things that for me has been important is I find that it is a lot about the expectations that we've got on ourselves. And this is something that you were talking to me about, right?
Yes, it is funny because we were talking literally all morning about this same question. And one of the main things that actually we were kind of sharing, that it all comes from the mind, as always, doesn't it? But the fact that we will most of the time overthink, the fact that we set these expectations or needs on ourselves, no one else is setting them for us. We're all doing it to ourselves. So when we think about resting, who's not giving us permission to rest if not us, right? We are the only people who can give that permission to ourselves. And why do we need that permission? And we always have these plans, we always have these goals, we always are looking into the future. Whereas if we actually ground ourselves, become more present, and I know it sounds very, very triggering even to say this, because everyone is talking about grounding and, coming into the present, but it's really all we have to do. It's that simple. We just have to slow down and look around and notice the things in front of us and give ourselves that perspective, I guess. What would you say?
Yeah, and I think, I really agree with that. One thing that came to mind was, but if I've got a billion things, and I think this is one of the things that I personally struggle with, and I know some of my audience do as well, is like, I've got a billion things. Like, have you seen my to-do list yet? Have you seen all the things that I need to do? Have you seen all the expectations that are on me? Have you seen what other people have asked me to do? My parents, my spouse, my partner, my kids, my, colleagues, etc. You don't know me if you can tell me that I can ground. And, coming back to this massive word that you shared, permission, is, who do you need permission from in order for you to actually stop and say, hang on a second, let me just give myself some time, give myself some love, and give myself that, even if it's a 5-minute rest, to pause, to let go of everything. You shared something really interesting. We didn't have time to really talk about it, but, there is a difference between thinking and thoughts are happening.
Yeah. One of the biggest realizations that I had recently, and it's really funny, when we talk about big realizations, and it's literally something that drops out of nowhere. It's literally two words. And you're like, what? I didn't know this. And you always do know it. You just hear it in a different light. But I was looking at this YouTube video, and a great guy, I shared his name, Aaron Doughty, but he said there is a big difference between thinking and having thoughts. There is a big difference between thoughts and thinking. And I couldn't agree more, because we are so stuck into our thoughts that we think we're thinking. We're not even thinking. We're just analyzing our thoughts. We're just not even observing them. We're so attached to our thoughts. We're so identified with our mind, with what's going on in our head, that we don't even realize it's running the whole show.
Mm.
And once we do that, once we realize that we are not the thoughts, yes, we can think, we can use our mind creatively, proactively, constructively, but we are not our thoughts. And again, coming back to why is it so hard to rest? I don't know one person that can rest if when they are, alone with themselves, all they do is they hear their thoughts. They think. It's impossible. It's draining. It kills your energy, and it doesn't allow you any creativity to actually, do anything beyond that.
Mm.
So really, when we come back to the question of today, why is it so hard to rest? I would just, I guess, finalize with giving ourselves a break, and like I said, finding our way to ground, to be here, to focus on the things in front of us. And we don't always have to solve these grand problems of the world or be these, massive influencers of change. We change, we influence people around us on a daily basis, and that's more than enough.
Didn't I tell you she's like amazing and so full of like wisdom? Yes, I totally agree. And to kind of add a little bit to that is when you rest, it doesn't necessarily have to be just lying there doing nothing or binge watching TV, doom scrolling. That's not even resting, that's numbing. Resting can look like tidying up your house. It can look like cooking. It can be still, resting doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be not productive. Or it can be. It can even be reading. You can be giving, or you can be meditating. You can be just sitting there